Alright, Night City. Today we're looking at the RX7600XT with 16 gigabytes. We're going to look at some benchmarks first, and then some gameplay with ray tracing. I'll let you skip and stop the benchmarks at your own pace, then I'll be back to talk about the gameplay and sum up. So hop in and let's hope this card doesn't crash out on us. Alright, so you be the judge of those benchmarks. Now we're going to take a look at some gameplay. All I've enabled here is FreeSync, and everything else is ray tracing on. At this point I have no limit on the FPS, and you can't tell as much on this video, but my experience on my monitor is a little bit more jittery than it looks here. It's still playable, it's almost the same, but it's not super pleasant, and it doesn't leave you, it leaves you a little bit wanting for more. But it looks great, as you can see on the walk around here. Textures are nice. One thing I did notice here is on the peripherals, there seems to be like a little bit of a lag, so frames don't seem to be cohesive. It's not that bad though. But I'm gonna enable the limiter at 30 frames per second, and I think that coupled with FreeSync and whatever else Adrenaline is doing does make this a little more enjoyable and a little more smooth. It's still not super fluid and, you know, snappy and beautiful like it would be without ray tracing, but right now it looks good. Obviously I'm able to drive around. Notice the quality drop on the frame of the car. It seems to happen usually on car animations. But now let's see if we can find some violence and see how this does when you're actually needing the frames and things are moving faster.
This shit is brand new!
Okay, so here I feel like my aiming is usually not this bad, and maybe it could be me right now, but probably the extra frames would help. I don't notice the input lag. Maybe some of you are much faster people than I am. The frame rate right now doesn't feel as cinematic as I would expect it or want it to be or be pleasantly surprised with. It's a little more stuttery than that. Kind of like if it misses a couple frames, enough for the eye to notice, but probably not enough for you to not feel like you can't play the game. But it is playable and it is doable. But now let's change to no ray tracing, and let's also do no limits on the FPS. And now things are a lot smoother, and this is probably the peak performance for this card. Again, this is Ultrawide 2K. No ray tracing, no frame limiting. FSR is on, and I think the game is very enjoyable like this. Probably better than console at this point. So if you wanted to play in ray tracing, it's doable, but I probably don't think anybody would want to play that like that sustained. However, I did discover that you can turn it on, but turn off all of the traced lighting and sun reflections and whatnot, and only enable them for photo mode. So if you wanted to take some full-on ray traced, path traced photos, you can. It takes a little to render, but it works. So that's the review and the benchmarks. The rest is up to you.